how do you go about like running a meme page, trying to be a media company, and then trying to throw festivals, even if it's once a quarter? How do you go about like doing all that and like people going to you, like you kind of like are everywhere?
Yeah. Well, really, that's the process I am figuring out. I feel like if I knew it too, I'd be doing it. But I think kind of how I'm going to get there is by just talking to folks who have done it before, because I think the blueprint is out there. When you take your Barstool Sports, I feel like from a little bit lesser than that in terms of following is Friday Beers, kind of right up the alley of what I'm eventually trying to do, where they blew up from being a meme page, but through that, they bought other accounts, do podcasting, they do events, they do all that, but they have a team behind them. Because I know, I mean, there's only so much I can do by myself, because right now, Dude Fridges is just me, but eventually I want to build a team. And overall, I just think it's more fun to build something with people that you like, whether it's your friends but just having a team overall. I mean, I don't want to be solo forever in this endeavor. I want to be building this with people. Yeah.
I was thinking that the whole time. I was like, not the bar.
Yeah.
Welcome to another episode of Opinionated Off Topic, the show where we talk to content creators, business owners, creatives, and other entrepreneurs alike. On today's episode, we have Dillon Shipper. He's built up a community that has amassed over 50,000 followers called Dude Fridges. Dude Fridges is a page documenting and showing what's in guys' refrigerators and the crazy contraptions and pictures that the community submits.
There's been some insane ones.
So like what's like some of the ones that stick out to you?
I mean, the very first one that comes to mind was a fridge that I saw where it was totally unhinged. It was a guy who filled his veggie drawer compartment up with water and had like a bunch of fish in it.
Oh my God, what?
It was insane.
What? That is crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I can't condone that,
Yeah,
but it was
yeah.
a funny picture.
They're gonna have Pato on you soon.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
This page has not only became very meme centric, but has also collaborated with other brands like Arizona Sweet Tea and much more. With the success of Dude Fridges, Dillon has been able to stem off other brands like Dude Rooms and has also been able to create festivals like Fridge Fest. If you guys like this episode, make sure you guys hit that like button, make sure you guys subscribe, and make sure you guys follow us on all platforms for more content. What's going on, everybody? It's another episode of Off Topic. Today I'm with my boy, Los. You guys know who it is, regularly scheduled program. Cam, and we got Dillon on the pod. Super excited to get him on the pod. If you guys haven't watched the last couple episodes, make sure you guys go check those out. Like, comment, and subscribe. But got a super dope, interesting guest. I mean, he does some cool things within the internet space. He's been able to generate a page that has almost 60,000 followers. The last time I checked, from posting memes, but uniquely memes, very niche centric. And just want to talk more about what he's building and his brand awareness, and just kind of, just have a good conversation with another creative. So
Yeah. Thank you for taking some out your day. It's kind of crazy because Albert and I shot for you during this past summer. Was that like July or something like that?
That was like mid-August.
Yeah. And then he's been like mentioning your name, and every time he mentioned your name, I was like, oh yeah, that was the guy Albert and I shot for. And Bert, sorry. And I was like, and he like, oh really, that's cool. And then I don't think he like really told you until recently.
Yeah.
And then, cause he's been mentioning you. I think he just forgets. I was like, oh yeah, I always tell him that's the guy that we shot for. And then he was like, really, this past time, he was like, really when? And then one of the pictures that I think, it's on his Instagram, but one of the pictures that I took, I was like, oh, it's from this concert is when we went. And I was like, oh, that's dope. And then he told you, you're like, oh, wow, that's crazy. Small world.
Really small world. Yeah. And it feels good too, because it feels like I somewhat know y'all too. I'm not shooting with total strangers.
just like a random person that hits you up because you got a following,
Yeah.
Right.
I tried to meet you that day because I just like to just introduce myself, because he was like, hey, can I bring a photographer? Like, sure. But you don't know who I am,
Yeah.
So I was like, is that him? He's like, no, he's just probably busy. And we could never just like get in contact with you. And then you and somebody else, I think, popped the champagne.
Yeah.
And he was like, that's him. I was like, oh, I'll let him have his fun.
Man, and shout out to the folks at Speakeasy in Austin. They're awesome. I did it at Sellers Underground.
Yeah, Sellers
which
Underground.
Is a venue that they own, and they're just awesome, and made my first experience in throwing events, which I'm trying to do a lot more of, just a really cool experience. And so it was one of the bartender's ideas to bring out champagne at the end that we popped. And because I think y'all came kind of towards the end of the party, right?
No, we got there before it started.
Okay, maybe it was Chris then. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, is that the videographer?
The videographer.
Yeah, he came in like a little bit later because we were there before it started.
Yeah.
And we set up and everything, and then maybe an hour in is when the first DJ went on or so.
Something like that.
Yeah, and then I mean we were there the whole time, but it was fun. I had a really good time. It was a good turnout, and it was a dope vibe. So
Yeah.
you put on for your first one, and for it to be that big of a turnout, that's not a lot of people can say that.
Trying to do a lot more of those too. So so stay tuned for sure.
For sure.
But before we get into this, just take us down memory lane and who you are and how you got started doing what you're doing today.
Yeah. So my name's Dillon Shipper. I founded Dude Fridges back in November 2022 while I had a full-time job. But really, I had this idea for the page going back to, I'd say, more COVID era, back when we weren't going out as much, but going to different friends' apartments, houses, whatnot. And I just had noticed that each person's fridge, as silly as it is, really reflected each person's personality in a way. And I had never, other than having a personal account, I'd never had, any type of social media type of management, content creation, whatnot. But I thought it could be a funny idea for a community where I didn't see that on Reddit, Instagram, anything. I didn't see that at all, where it was kind of fridge niche content. And I was like, you know what if I started a page that focused on that, but I also did memes, just because I've been a longtime fan of accounts like Boys Who Can Cook, Grape Juice Boys, Shithead Steve, like random meme accounts like that. And so I just said, well, it took me a couple years, but after kind of revisiting it in 2022 and kind of getting some more affirmations from family and friends, launched the page and just started posting as much as 3-4 times a day. Worked on getting collaborations, and within a year, the page has grown to over 55,000 followers.
Yeah, and that's something I thought is interesting, right? Because you're posting like photos and memes. You're not really posting like nowadays. You have like a reel go viral or a video go viral, and then that's kind of how you like blow up or amass a quick following. So I was just curious, like what did the following start rolling in if you're just like posting photos? Are you using hashtags, or are they just getting shared and taken off?
Not really from hashtags, and I have done some real content. Most of it has been curated because reels and short form content kind of are king right now in terms of just with Instagram and TikTok pushing short form video content. So I always credit whenever I can if I do find a reel, but I've had a bunch of curated content take off as well. But I think really the key thing for me has been consistency. I think what happens with a lot of pages is they have the idea and start posting, but then it dies down. But I've just made a commitment to post every day, and way more in the beginning too, which I think everyone wants there to be like a real secret sauce. Like, what actually is it? When as corny and as it could be, really, I think consistency is like so much of it.
Yeah, I'd say that's like the biggest thing with it. I mean, you hear everybody say, people who've made it, just be consistent. Like you said, as corny as it is to say, and as cliche as it is to say, that's really the biggest thing is consistency, because people like everybody has like an everyday routine. They have what they do, what time they wake up, how long they're on their phone for, what they do on their phone. So like they just in a cycle. And then once they're used to that cycle, just say at 9 a.m. they're gonna get a Dude Fridges, just say video. They're gonna look forward at 9 a.m. to that video. And that's where their consistency comes in, because that's what people want to see. And then once that stops, they're quick to just be done with it. Right. And so that's why it's such a, probably the number one thing said is because it's so important.
Yeah. And I'd say too, kind of with consistency, because that is so general, I'm really trying to focus on the niche that I'm in and actually building a community and a place where people can go, they know what they're going to find. in addition to some surprises too. But I try and keep a real close eye on kind of what people like and are not liking in terms of like what I'm posting, but also trying to change it up, and which has also led to me working with a lot of cool brands as well.
Yeah. How'd you come up with the name, Dude Fridges?
You know, I just thought it was super catchy. And it just kind of came to me. It wasn't like some super well crafted. I wanted to kind of keep it short and sweet too.
Yeah.
Not make it some long,
Roll off the
complex
tongue.
name.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
wanted it to be short and sweet, just like my tagline. It kind of comes from Nike Just Do It, which is just the essentials, which is really just a play on, you know, these actually, with a lot of my fridges being like only beer, pickles, shredded cheese. Like it's kind of dudes affirming to themselves like, just the essentials, I'm good.
Yeah.
When really like it's just a barely stocked fridge. In some
Yeah,
cases,
I
you know?
think that's how most
But I
guys
got
are.
the
Because
essentials.
like, even then, for me, that goes for like everything. My mom always asks like, because they're moving out, and my girlfriend are taking over the house. So like, do you want this carpet? Do you want this? Do you want that? I'm like, I mean, I don't care. As long as it's not ugly, I'm gonna say yes. Like,
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't care. It holds my food. All right,
Yeah.
that's how it's real. It
Like,
holds
We're
my food.
dudes, we can be pretty simple.
Like
Yeah.
everything's very like, you know, like you said, simple. Like you go into, I mean, college days, you're in the fridge and it's like you open it up, it's like, all right, I got eggs, bacon, maybe a thing of chicken breasts. Like
Yeah.
you're solid. You
You're
know?
good.
Exactly.
Yeah. You don't need anything else other than that. So what I'm kind of curious for you, like what affirmation were like friends and families giving you to start this? Because it's like, I don't know how it works on like your side of the world, but like for ours, it's like you can make money from it. And yes, I know you can make money from like
Yeah.
Instagram accounts and like whatnot, but like just a meme page, like you just think it's like I don't know. Like when I think of a meme page, I'm just gonna think of an app, but like iFunny because I just recently downloaded it again, just to like see if it was real.
Right.
But like, what do they like tell you to like? Oh yeah, that's a good idea. You should do it.
You know, it was really just from a process of me. I feel like it was almost like once every 6 months, starting from, you know, like 2020 or whatnot, of me bringing up the idea. And I just kept coming back to it. So I think it was a mix of I kept bringing it back up. And it was not like shut up about it, but it was like, it's funny. Like you keep bringing it up. Like, what's the downside? And I feel like so many different ideas or companies or I don't know, just things in general die because I consider myself somewhat of a perfectionist too. Like I want to launch, but in the right way. But so many people just don't. They get caught up in, you know, analysis paralysis and don't even do it. And I just said, screw it. I'm gonna just launch it. Took a second for me to actually start posting consistently, but I just knew that if I didn't do it, I would wake up one day and regret it. So I wish I kind of started earlier because it took me like 2 years to actually just do it. But
timing is always everything too. Like you could have started it earlier, but like you were saying, like doing it, you know, kind of in that COVID centric timeline. And nowadays, like you were saying earlier, like short form content is king. There's always people on their phone consuming stuff. And for me, like I haven't really followed a meme page probably since like middle school or high school.
Yeah.
But like he always says it a lot, like stuff's starting to come back in different ways. Maybe that being, you know, like this more niche centric community of, you know, what you're creating. Cause it's a meme, but it's like specific to one thing or certain things. It's not like an account that just posts like random stuff and then you see like a video of LeBron dunking, like how House of Highlights is now. Like it's not even a sports page. It's just like a everything content page. You know?
for sure.
Why memes though? Like what was?
Well, I think memes are a part, like that's what drew me to social media platforms. But I'd say it's more community is kind of like where I want to just really succeed with the page. Because yeah, I love posting memes and making my own memes, but memes can kind of just be memes are great for eyeballs and for virality too. Which is why I wanted to incorporate within the community and the page. But really, I think so many pages are growing too. Just finding a specific niche is important. but the memes really help with just getting eyeballs on a page and helping something grow. So it comes from a desire to always want to do it. I think the fridge pictures are funny too. And the fact that people from now, like it's a global movement. I mean, I get pictures from England, Germany, Spain, Australia is a huge one too. I think of my top countries.
Okay.
Australia is in there too.
What's in the Aussie fridge? What are they?
I think they have a beer called Dale's that I've seen a lot.
Okay.
But that it seems like that's kind of their beer of choice.
Okay.
But it's the dude fridge is it's global and it's very similar. You know, you see the shredded cheese, the pickles, the beer, you know, the protein, you know, the chicken breasts, ground beef.
Yep.
You know, you see it globally, which is cool, and people just, you know, they want to get their fridge posted to the page too.
Yeah.
What is that like for you? Because like you're like, man, I wish I would have started this sooner. But in hindsight, it's 2020. You know, you didn't know that you're gonna have this massive following,
Right?
But like, what has that like been for you? Like you started, just say 3 months later, you're waking up every day. Here's 2,000 followers. You gained this day, 500 this day.
Yeah.
Just say 1,500 this day. Like what? Just seeing those numbers just go. What has that been like for you?
I think it's just cool seeing your ideas become validated. Because I want a huge following, and it's super cool to see, like, you know, 1,000 followers here, 500 there, and whatever. That's all cool, but I think it all comes down to, I mean, what's been great for me is just seeing something that I played out in my head for so long, to see it become a reality, and to have people actually get the concept that I'm trying to push. Because really, I want to be known as a media company too, not just a meme page. But you know, I'm able to gain quite a bit of an audience from curating certain memes too. Not that it's a trick, but it's just, I think people are liking it, and that goes with the followers that are coming on to the page as well.
So how did you, like, when you were talking about people submitting, you know, from all over the country and how Dude Fridges is global, how did you know you had a community? Because I'm sure when you first started it, like, that's another question, I guess. So it's like a two-part question. So like, what were you posting at first, meme-wise? Like, if it was fridge content, was it just your fridge, or were you having to like look stuff up online?
Yeah.
What was that like?
So really, the beginning stages were a grind of just friends and family.
Okay.
Where I was like, I just need pictures of your fridges to get up. I mean, they had to fit kind of the description. And part of it too is I never ask people to stage fridges, but people do. And some people stage some pretty funny ones as well. But to get started, people I knew in the space were telling me really about being consistent. And I just knew the importance of getting a bunch of content to just start pushing and posting, and just making sure that I was doing that every day. But to answer your question on when I knew I had a community, I think really was when I was starting to get DMs from people I didn't know. In addition to the event I threw that sold out as well, when I even have a bit of a local community as well here in Austin, Texas, which was super cool to see your first event sell out.
Yeah.
And just to see another, I mean, because I had the idea for the page, but then to have an idea for an event too, and see that sell out and people enjoy themselves, and it all come together with all that rigorous planning it's super cool to see.
Yeah.
How'd you get the idea of throwing an event?
Really from a selfish place so South by Southwest is by far my favorite part about living in Austin. I've been going ever since I've been in school here, which was 2014. And I always preferred that to ACL because I love the one-off 50 to 200 person events that are more intimate. You know, I found some great artists too from the South by shows as well. The coolest one I'd say is Jack Harlow. Saw him at Scoot In.
Wow.
He was performing after Young Gravy. That was like the headline. And that was back when maybe there was 200 people at Scoot In or something.
That's crazy.
No one really knew him. But I heard him. I was like, this guy's got it. And then it was cool to see him also perform at ACL with like 100,000 people watching. But it all comes from, I've loved South by Southwest, and I've always wanted to put on an event where there was music, merch, and some type of sponsorship activation. And then I just said, you know what, I'm going to throw a Fridge Fest. I don't know how, but I'm going to figure it out, just like the page.
So
Go ahead.
So I guess when you were, throwing a Fridge Fest, like you have your brand with fridges, but you want to throw a festival. How are you like tying those together to where it's like on brand, but like kind of tapping into a different market?
Yeah.
Festival or show or event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say with that, I kind of just I reached out to some folks that have thrown events before, that helped kind of guide me through that process. But being a fridge niche page, I figured, you know what? I've already done a lot of partnerships with some big brands. Let's see if they want to kind of help push their Austin base at all, and through sponsorships, through not only through the giveaways we've done, but through an in-person event. So, it's hard to pick where to start with events.
Yeah.
And I learned a lot from that first one. But I put together a deck, sent that to a bunch of different brands I'd worked with, and tried to see who was interested. Started reaching out to some venues and got to know some local Austin places too. But really just tried to meet as many folks as I could who have thrown events and to soak that knowledge up. Mm-hmm. And I knew the sponsors would be food or drink related as well, which, that was just very unintentional with Fridge page, but, naturally you work with food and beverage companies.
Mm-hmm. Was Topo Chico a sponsor?
They were a sponsor as well.
Okay. Who was I can't remember who the food was.
It was
a pizza.
It was Southside Flying Pizza.
Southside
Provided the
Flying
pizza for that one too.
I don't remember if we got the pizza, but I remember
it went fast.
It went fast for sure. But we just got done eating before we went there. But that's dope because it's like people see Topo Chico, so like that's a major brand that people recognize.
Exactly.
So they're gonna already think that whoever Dude Fridges is, even if they don't know him, is legit because they see Topo Chico as a sponsor.
Right.
So it's like going after major brands is probably another helpful and big thing to have because people are just going to validate you off of that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I wanted to use local talent as well, and hired a bunch of great DJs for that event, and even a friend who's a rapper named Decar, who's awesome. And he's just such a talented and funny guy that it just meshed perfectly to have him as a headliner for that festival, just to fit in with the meme background of the page.
Music was for
It's hilarious, right?
Music was for sure. It was like parody music, I guess you could say.
Kind of like Young Gravy-ish.
I'd say, yeah, he's like a Young Gravy, Lil Dicky type.
Okay.
Just really clever lines.
Yeah.
And he's worked with Murder Beats on, I think,
cool.
2 songs too were produced by him.
That's cool.
Just a really funny and talented guy. It was a no-brainer when I was thinking music-wise, and cool to already have that connection.
Yeah, fits like the demographic.
Fits the brand and the demo.
That was one of your friends?
Yeah,
That's dope.
We grew up in Dallas together,
That's fire.
and went to UT together as well.
Cool.
Funny how it works out. So.
Yeah, nah, for sure.
Because it's kind of like he said, or he always says is, like when it comes to social media, people will like follow you or not follow you based on your sponsors. I mean, your followers, and that's kind of like when you throw a festival, people are either going to go or not go based on like
who's coming,
who's coming and who's sponsoring.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
So
yeah, it's all perspective. Like if you have a big guest or you're a big brand, like that's what's gonna draw eyeballs, even if the turnout isn't what you would like it to be. But it's like you throw Slap Topo Chico on there, or or they even just come to your page and they're like, oh, this is 60,000 followers. Like, I'll check it out, even if I have no idea what to expect, just because it's like the pop-in thing to go to or do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So. And I don't know if this is just getting a little bit older too. I'm 29, turning 30 this year.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's always the going out, like the bars you can go to here. But I think having those more curated, personalized, one-off events that are even a little bit exclusive are something that it's harder to find here, but people are yearning for that.
Yes.
And I feel like that's just kind of what have heard and
no, for sure.
just from talking to other folks, and I want to start doing that a lot. But have you ever heard of an event where it was a fridge page that hosted it that had 100 jars of mayo throughout the event, where that was kind of the thing, which was what Fridge Fest was.
Yeah, that's what it was. We were wondering why there was like, I was like, why is there so much mayonnaise?
Yeah, Duke's mayo was
yeah,
the
I
big
was like, why is
sponsor
there,
for that
that's
one.
what someone was like, why is there so much mayonnaise?
Yeah.
That Duke's mayo.
But people were having fun with it. It's the best mayo.
It's the best mayo.
Not even like
It's so
sponsored
good.
now. It's my favorite mayo.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean, they're
pretty
legit
good.
awesome.
Yeah, that's fire.
And great folks to work with as well.
So how do you, earlier you said you want to be like a media company as well.
Yeah.
So how do you go about like, it is a form of media, but like running a meme page, trying to be a media company, and then trying to throw festivals, even if it's once a quarter or once every 3 months or whatever the case. Like I said. How do you go about like doing all that and like people going to you, like you kind of like are everywhere?
Yeah. Well, really, that's the process I am figuring out. I feel like if I knew it too, I'd be doing it. But I think kind of how I'm going to get there is by just talking to folks who have done it before. And because I think the blueprint is out there. When you take your Barstool Sports, I feel like from a little bit lesser than that in terms of following is Friday Beers. Is kind of right up the alley of what I'm eventually trying to do, where they blew up from being a meme page, but through that they bought other accounts, do podcasting, they do events, they do all that, but they have a team behind them. Because I know, I mean, there's only so much I can do by myself, because right now Dude Fridges is just me, but eventually I want to build a team. And overall, I just think it's more fun to build something with people that you like, whether it's your friends or but just having a team overall. I mean, I don't want to be solo forever in this endeavor. I want to be building this with people. Yeah.
I was thinking that the whole time.
I was thinking that
not the bar.
Yeah. But I think I can get there, and I'm trying to just do it piece by piece. I have met with the Friday Beers team as well, so they're just awesome guys too. Yeah. I mean, for them to take a meeting from a little guy right now who's just asking questions, super cool to just know that pages you admire too are not, they don't consider themselves way above you or anything, and that they're just super open to help. And that's what I've come across in general from other folks who are doing the same thing.
Yeah, I think that's been the big thing too with like, I mean, even with us starting this, is like the humility of people in the same lane, rather than be, super big or super small. Like everyone kind of understands, like, because they probably were grinding just as hard, if not harder, to get to where they're at. So I think everyone kind of understands, like, oh, he has 60,000 followers on this. Like, he obviously like knows what he's doing and is working extremely hard on it too.
Right.
And Friday Beers they're based in Arizona, right? Like Scottsdale, I think.
I think they're LA,
okay,
California.
That's right.
Where their offices are.
That's the thing. Like you see every Friday, it's like Friday, and it's just like literally just like movie scenes or like stuff from whatever, and it's like Friday Beers or whatever.
Yeah.
Or Almost Friday. Is that the same thing or no? Almost
Friday?
Yeah. Okay.
Almost Friday. I mean, their media company is called Almost Friday Media.
Yeah.
But
Almost Friday.
But they paired like the Almost Friday pictures with, the like they'll take from like Anchorman or a classic comedy.
And now there's like sub
accounts
accounts that do it, like Oklahoma, and like I've seen Texas accounts, like they'll post like Matthew McConaughey and put like Almost Friday or like Bevo, and it's like they're not even affiliated. Yeah. But they, if you know kind of deal.
Right.
Yeah, that's cool.
Right. And they're even like a mini SNL with the talent that they brought on. They just have a lot of personalities now. I don't know. I admire that page a lot, and that's kind of like I was saying, that's a page I admire and hope to kind of grow into some type of media company that's adjacent to that.
Two-part question. One, how do you go about monetizing the brand? And two, how do you go about, getting sponsors to get on the band with what you're trying to do?
Yeah.
As in like throw festivals and whatnot. Like, oh, I'm a meme page. I'm trying to throw this festival. And they're like,
Right.
oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah. So how do you like monetize your brand, and then how do you get sponsors to like see the vision?
For sure. I mean, I think there's multiple ways to monetize. I'm trying not to rush into a lot of things just because I want to do it the right way. For example, merchandise or merch. I want it to be quality stuff that I would actually wear. But you know, having a community behind you as well, that I know would support and buy merch is clutch. And I know a key to that at some point being successful. But I also want to start. My strategy has been working for free, kind of like with internships, and then proving what you can do, and then going to monetizing. So I'm kind of now into that stage of I've worked with a bunch of brands and had some stuff go viral and shown that I have the ability to do it. And so it's just establishing that ability and then saying, hey, here's a case study of X. Here's what I want to bring to you to create. Here's X amount for X number of memes to manage and run a giveaway and whatnot. So I think that's kind of my first step in monetizing more is through the giveaways and the memes and kind of showing the success I've had with that and bringing that to different folks.
Yeah.
But we'll see how that goes. I'm working on it right now.
Yeah.
Is it hard to like get like sponsors or like even do like, hey, I'm trying to do this giveaway. What can you bring?
It's a
to the table?
mix.
Yeah.
I feel like people underestimate the power of a DM as well. So I've been trying to tackle that from Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn even. That's how I made the Hidden Valley Ranch partnership hit, was finding someone on the team on LinkedIn, DM them a short blurb of the ideas that I had because they were trying to promote new products that they were launching. So that worked out super well. But yeah.
What is some advice you would give to people that's trying to get sponsorships or wanted to reach out to different people to get new sponsorships? Because we're kind of in I guess a weird area where like sometimes it could be me or just us. We feel like we're not big enough to like even get a local sponsorship. But sometimes we're like, man, we have these guests on, so we're like, we should be able to get sponsorships, no problem. But we also haven't reached out to anybody to even try to, unless it was like something like Podcorn. But even then, it's like, you want something like more on a retainer, like more something that is, like I said earlier, they see Topo Chico, they're coming because Topo Chico's there.
Yeah, like you get, you know, for example, with us doing a podcast, it's like we get something, maybe they give us, 12 episodes or something where we got to, do an ad read or we have something on the table or whatever. But even then it's, it's more so like, okay, we know we have someone we can work with. And then if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But at least we have like these analytics of like, these are the views we're getting on these episodes or shorts that were being consumed for this particular episode where we talked about your product. And then that can also help us get that next ad. Because there's so many local things here within Austin. And like he said, the outreach probably hasn't been the greatest on our end, but it's more so about like, how do we construct it, right? Like maybe we hit this metric. For me, I would always think maybe we hit 10,000 followers on Instagram. You have like that K next to your profile instead of just the number.
Definitely
then
bigger.
If you like reach out or DM, then people are like, oh, this is a media account with 10,000 followers. I might be more inclined to like hear what they have to say about like, working together or whatnot.
Yeah.
So I think it is like what he says. Like, I definitely think we're big enough because of the guest and like our size, but also maybe like making sure we get to a certain threshold and point to where when we do ask, we're not getting like rejected and like
for sure
stuff like that. So,
and I think I just want to add that in the outreach, something that has helped for me is doing my homework on some type of background on the product or people behind it. My recommendation is to a brand that you do reach out to or person behind that brand to maybe connect it back to how y'all's values align or something that shows, hey, they're not just blanket, especially in the era of chat GPT and AI, where you can easily just kind of like copy and paste a message and send it out to a bunch of folks. That could be helpful to start something or somewhat of a template, but if you include a blurb of something that shows, okay, they didn't just send me a message.
More of a human element type.
Human element. Like with Hidden Valley, just because I said that, I reached out to someone and said, hey, I see that y'all are gearing up for the release of, it was a buffalo and a pickle ranch that they were adding on. And I said, hey, I have this idea that'll help promote that. Where I didn't give them the full picture of what that was.
Yeah, you just kind of gave them a little appetizer.
Yeah.
If you will.
And and by that message, they then pass it on to their social media management folks. But, you know, I think with that message, I showed, hey, I know what's going on within Hidden Valley, and just showed that I wasn't just trying to solely just make money or just get a partnership, but I actually saw what they were doing and connected that to what I was trying to do.
Since we're on the topic of reaching out and getting sponsorship, you worked with Arizona, the Spike Tea.
Yes.
Yeah. So what was that like for you? Just working with another top brand like that, and then just getting like a nice paid sponsorship like that, because they're a brand, I guess, with the Dukes, as we're talking off camera, but like brands like that is like what you want, because they have set aside budgets for marketing that they can spend X amount of money on whatever, versus like, I don't know, we'll just say, I don't know, HEB, because they're just not global. Which the HEB has this amount, where because it's only in Texas.
Right. Well, it's cool. I mean, like with Arizona, like you were saying, the cool part about them was it's just a brand that I've known since I was a child, and well, not the Spike Tea, but
the
Arizona
tea.
It wasn't that cool, no. But no, it's just a brand that I've known forever, and there's just a bunch of brands that I have a goal of working with, and it's cool to see that come to fruition. So they were just on my outreach of, I've known these guys forever, would be a goal to work with them. And kind of how that worked was, that was through Instagram DM. I can't remember the exact message that I wrote, but through that process, learned that they're really trying to first promote their hard seltzer that's been out for maybe a year or so, but started in Canada, and they're pushing it more in the US now, and it's growing. So
I didn't even know it was a thing.
Right.
Until recently. One of our friends got it.
Yeah, Zach got it, and then I saw you post it, and I was like, oh, I guess it is a thing.
Yeah, and the really cool part about that campaign that we did was, I mean, now I think they have around 30K. I have about 60K. But that campaign reached close to 3 million folks and hit the algorithm like crazy. And that's the power of memes, really. And so having a successful campaign with them, with the hard tea, led to us now, we're figuring out, we've partnered on a couple memes for the Arizona brand as a whole, and then also right now working on a giveaway as well. But that successful of, working with a smaller brand within the company help in getting work done with the bigger company itself. Yeah.
How much pressure is that for you? Because now they're working with you, and now they're about to do memes with you. So it's like, man, now I have to come up with a meme, and it's got to be good because it's going on this big brand.
Yeah, there's definitely more pressure. Right now, though, our partnership, there's not a monetary component to it. Really just building a relationship with them. But I think that really, like, the success it's having is going to set up something in the longer term with us, to where we're posting memes and partnering on stuff year round, but just establishing that relationship and what works, what doesn't work, and fine tuning that relationship.
Is it hard to come up with memes like that? Like, because I feel like you're constantly having to think about new memes to like even do.
Yeah.
And it's just, like you said earlier, it's just you. So it's like, you're the one that's coming up with the memes, posting the pictures, envisioning like, all right, this is what I want it to look like. Now what can I say? Or like, all right, this is what I want to say. How can it look?
Right. And I'd say it's a mix of easy and hard. I'm just online a bunch more because of the page. So I feel like I am hyper aware of the trends happening and can be pretty instant with those responses. So, it varies here and there, and also changes based on the brand. But I think too, people are so much more aware of what is an ad, what's not, or if it's an ad, is it actually thought out? Because we all hate seeing ads. So that's from a monetizing perspective too. Going back to that, I also want to be a page that hosts ads for big brands, but also up and coming brands too, especially as I get a bigger audience. But I want to make it cool.
Yeah,
that was kind of cringe.
That was kind of like my thought process too, is because obviously you have like When What Where Austin. It's like the one you think about when you think about like Austin centric
Right.
page, but they're also doing like giveaways and promoting other brands and whatnot. And you know, eventually when you know, a massive following and have the pool they have, right? Like they post something and they can grow you like immediately if they're like, you know, follow this for, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Like having that power and whatnot, would you want it to be like people reach out to you and it's like once you like get to where you want to be able to do this, they reach out to you and they're like, okay, I give you $10,000 to run this ad, or does it need to be like on brand as well with what you're trying to do? Because you, like you said, you want to make it cool, but you also have a specific audience as well.
Right. I think that goes back to, because yeah, I would do that, but I wouldn't just pump out something that isn't actually funny or creative or thoughtful. Because I'm working on kind of a more broad, maybe meme-centric type of media agency I'm working on, where Dude Fridges can be an arm of that. But essentially, I do want to create, you know, thoughtful, funny content with the money coming in. I don't just want to be an ad, or, I mean, you see, I know I see a bunch of pages that just post an ad and, you know, people get upset and call them sellouts. And I think there's a happy medium you can find, because people need to make money, but I think you can also incorporate just creativity into that as well.
I think if the ad aligns with what you're trying to do,
right,
it's okay. I mean, because then, like you said, people are trying to make money, and like, if for the audience wise, if you want this ship to go, I have to get some sort of revenue in order for this ship to go. So I think as long as it's within what you're trying to do, it's fine. Because like you said earlier, like the House of Highlights, kind of they were sports centric, but now they just post like everything. Like when it gets to something like that, then it's like, yeah, you're a sellout. Right. But if it's something that's on par with the brand, it's fine.
Right. You know, if they come to Dude for just saying they want something on that brand, I'm gonna keep it that way and make sure that my community and strangers too kind of know what's happening.
Yeah. Does anything you ever do feel forced? Because it is just you. So do you feel like you have to get content out? Like you have to get 3 memes this day out?
It's more so, I more see it as making sure I keep the consistency. I feel like with the page growing, that I'm getting enough DMs, and I even have which is just funny to say, meme community as well, who I'm plugged in with, where we could collaborate. Like, for example, there's another page who I'm friends with called Gripping Foods with Force. So it's still food adjacent. And we've collaborated on some videos where he's grabbed food from the fridge and gripped it. But that following too has like 50,000. There's all these random niches on the internet. It's crazy. No. And so getting a following too has helped expand that community, and then partnering with other pages and stuff that they can come up with. It's really like a snowball effect in that I feel like it's gotten a little bit easier as the growth has come on.
So I thought of 2 things. One, obviously, we were talking about like MTV Jesse and like Nelk and all them earlier, and they have their seltzer Happy Dad. No free shout outs. We do love you, but no free shout outs.
Yeah.
But Happy Dad. But then they have their other seltzer that they came out with called Happy Mom.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's still a Happy Dad seltzer. They just they just branded it to, you know, appeal to women and ladies, and they obviously saw the sales spike up on it. And all it was just a different flavor, but with different branding. So that makes me ask the question with like Dude Fridges, would you ever like do something like that to appeal to like the female audience?
Yeah, I think too, as I'm working on a more general media company with Dude Fridges as an arm, I'd love to have something more women-centric, because my audience is about 85% male. There still is 15% females who follow the page. But I'm glad that that women too also kind of get the humor, because I've had a lot of great submissions from women, whether it's pictures of their boyfriend's fridge or gotten some divorced dad fridges too. It's good to see that it's just not only guys on the page. I mean, because it is humor for everyone. And I'd say the name Dude Fridges comes from the dude stereotype, because usually women just have their life more put together than that.
Yeah, like we said earlier, we're just playing like, hey,
Yeah, absolutely.
it holds my food, it holds my liquid, I'm good.
Right. So it's a community for everyone, but dudes just get the stereotype.
Yeah.
And then the other question was dude rooms.
Yes.
So like you were talking about, creating dude fridges could be a potential arm of the media you're trying to create, and it looks like you're already niching down with dude rooms.
Right.
What was the process of starting dude rooms, and how has that been? Like, obviously you've grown a meme page to have a good following, and now you're kind of essentially starting from ground zero, but not really, because obviously you can use your other brand to kind of piggyback and promote. And now with the tools on Instagram, like we started our sports niche, and like you can like collab and do things to help like promote that other page. But how's that been like, and what made you go down that road?
Yeah, and really it was from a similar space of dude fridges to start up dude rooms, because was searching, I mean, Instagram's the main platform, but I am on all platforms and trying to expand them as well. But it came from also looking around, and I didn't see any of that content on Instagram where it was more dude focused rooms, where and just like fridges where it's just the essentials, with dude rooms where there's maybe only like the meme of just a lounge chair, TV, pizza box on the ground, that same kind of vibe. So I'm still forming it, but I just didn't see that in the meme market. And I think I can do cool stuff over there too, even in the giveaway space as I grow it, like with Samsung, or just any like TV brand. Could even probably bring a fridge into that as well. But I see that from a partnerships perspective to be able to grow, but I just didn't see that in the Instagram market, and said, you know what, I'm already doing one dude brand. Why not show I can do it again? But I do want to add to that as well. I'm not just trying to do dude this, dude that. I want to have a general type of page as well. And maybe at some point even acquiring other pages to just build my reach as well.
So how do you go about separating the learning business and also like trying to learn how to grow your page and your niche and other niches that you want to do?
Yeah. I think really it's going to be keeping on reaching out and learning from other folks that have done it. I feel like I do have a really good intuition with how I've been able to just grow the page, with how it's been going on its own. But it's been really, really enjoyable meeting new folks. And I just want to increase my contact base of folks that have done it and know how to do it, because I'm really learning as I go. So it's a mix of continuing the outreach, keep talking to brands, keep talking to folks, and just keep on just doing. Because I think once you just stop, I'm just in such a good momentum of just all of this. And I know if I stop, it just, not that it could all come crashing down, but once you're in a good momentum, it's easier to keep that all going.
What were some of the craziest fridges you've ever seen? Like, I know we kind of like brushed over like what's getting submitted and stuff to you, but I'm sure there's been some crazy stuff.
Oh, there's been some insane ones.
So like what's like some of the ones that stick out to you?
I mean, the very first one that comes to mind was a fridge that I saw where it was totally unhinged. It was a guy who filled his veggie drawer compartment up with water and had like a bunch of fish in it.
Oh my God. What?
It was insane.
What? That is crazy.
Those fish are dead.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. I can't condone that,
Yeah,
but it was a funny picture.
They're going to have pedo on you soon.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
But
I don't even think to do that.
there's a bunch of real funny ones. Like people stage them with, I've seen one with like normal food, but then there's a mace in it, a weapon. randomly. A whole big ass stack of pancakes, like cartoon size, was just kind of funny.
It's a good fridge right there.
Someone who had only hot sauce and cinnamon toast crunch in the fridge. Someone who just had syrup in a fridge, I thought was pretty funny, because then the top comment on that one was like, I don't even think you need to refrigerate that. And that was the only thing in the fridge. But it's fun to just see how different people live, and it's cool to see trends too of what people are getting and putting in their fridge and not, and what drinks and foods are popular or not. And
I feel like it's competitive too. Like if you submit something and like you think you got a banger like meme and like it like goes crazy on your page, if you're like, oh yeah, I got like the best one so far, and then like someone's like, I'm gonna one up that, so like it like pushes the organic growth for you. You're not really having to do much. You're just like, yeah, I'll just, you know. And like, I guess, is there anything that you're like, I can't post that? Like, have you gotten stuff like that?
I feel like there has been, but I guess nothing crazy or off-putting comes to mind, which is good.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
But, you know, sometimes people send totally normal fridges, which is good too, but that's where you got to get creative with the captions, because I want to post as many as I can, but sometimes there is just kind of no angle to work with.
Do you ever like chat GPT, like just to get started on like what you want the caption to be?
I've done that like one time, but I like that it just all comes from me, and try and keep it that way, for like caption wise, that it's me doing all the writing and whatnot.
Yeah.
And it's worked out pretty well. Sometimes you don't even need a caption. The picture
does it itself, and people just go crazy in the comments.
Yeah, sometimes it's crazy enough. And it's so funny what people can come up with the comments. Sometimes people will comment and I'm like, man, that easily could have been the caption.
That caption.
Yeah.
I know you have a lot of fans, but do you have like a favorite fridge that you've posted or seen?
I mean, those ones that I've listed are pretty good. I really love. What's another really good one? No, I feel like those are the main ones that come to mind. The main ones. There are definitely other ones, but you know, I'd have to look at the page. Yeah. It's crazy. I mean, I've just gotten a lot of submissions at this point, which is really cool.
My friend needs to submit to your page. When he lived with two of his other roommates, they had milk, twisted teas, Jello shots, and eggs. That was in their fridge.
I love it.
Austin.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, that was in their fridge.
Right there. Just the essentials.
That's so funny.
Yeah, that was in their fridge. I was like, oh, nice to see that y'all got some food here.
I love it.
A while ago, I guess Billie Eilish, her fridge got like leaked or whatever, and it was posted. Have you had any celebrities reach out to you, and like what celebrity leaked fridges, or whose celebrity fridge would you like to see personally?
Was her fridge bad?
It was, because it was funny, people wrote about it and I posted about it as well, but she essentially posted a dude fridge. It was just this super messy fridge, and it had a Diet Coke that exploded too. And it was literally a dude fridge, and I'm working on like actually trademarking and coining that term as well. But no, that is a direction in the page I really want to head. I think a big inspiration is this guy, I'm blanking on his last name, but Caleb on TikTok, where he's gotten big through the New York apartment tours and has gotten some really big celebrities to go on his show or his page. And I want to bring that back, but doing fridge tours where it would kind of be based off of how he's doing MTV Cribs. But I feel like when that show was going on, the most sought out thing was like, what's in X celebrity's fridge. And I think that would be a really cool short form video content to bring about.
And it's always good to evolve like your content and like have other niche based ideas, because you know, like the Drake meme, Virginia Beach, like
Drew Walls.
Yeah, Drew Walls. Like, dude, he like went from being clowned online to like he got like an NBA deal, a Target deal, ESPN deal. The UNC Tar Heels did their ACC schedule release for football with it, and it's just like this dude literally took like a song from the album and just recorded himself day in life, and it was just like, it's just goofy, but like it's just crazy to see stuff like that change. And he was probably like working a regular job, and now like his life changed because he just recorded his day in a life to a song and made it a meme. Like, it's crazy.
It really is. But I do at some point want to have, like, even his fridge would be funny to have the page, and kind of being hyper aware of like what memes are happening right now and toning in like, oh, he knows about Drew Walls, or like I've even DM'd the what's his name? It's Campbell and Jet Puckett, which is the Pookie couple. Like getting a fridge like that, because they're so socially relevant right now. But I think it would be a really cool feature of the page, and a good idea to segue into like a TV show / short form content to do fridge tours like that.
Well, you're also doing Dude Room, so like you can essentially get 2 pieces of content just from there, because you can just there's the room as well.
Right.
Whose fridge would you want to see? Who would be your first, if they said yes, who would be your first famous
fridge?
person?
I'd say probably Dirk Nowitzki be my fridge.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just have been a fan my whole life of his.
Yeah. He's one of my favorite players ever, too. Yeah.
And being from Dallas, and basketball is my favorite sport as well. Still play non-professionally, but I love basketball. That's my number one. So that'd be cool. And a Luka fridge.
When is Luka going to win the MVP? When is that going to happen?
Hopefully he dropped 73 this year.
I know. He's been going crazy.
I don't know if he ever will. I think he
will at some point.
It's gonna be hard.
4-time, 5-time All-NBA.
It's his team that's hurting him. Is what it, because you typically give it to like someone that's winning.
Yeah,
they're not. I mean, they win, but like they're not like winning like that. They always get bounced first round. There's that. And that's their season, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm a Spurs fan, so I used to hate Dirk. I used to hate Dirk,
Makes sense.
Dude. Yeah,
I used to hate the Spurs too, but also kind of respected them at the same time. I just
that's how it is for everybody. Yeah,
always loved the way they played.
Yeah. If I interviewed, probably, and if I was you, my person would probably be like Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
An Adam Sandler fridge. Like, what's in your fridge?
That'd be cool. I think Riff Raff would be super chaotic.
Oh my god,
gosh.
I couldn't even imagine
about,
what's in
like,
his fridge.
Those guys that like blew up online, like Supreme Patty, like people like that. I feel like that'd be like a crazy collab.
Yeah.
Like someone that like has their own like internet relevance, and it's like, wonder what's in like Supreme Patty's fridge, or like people like that, or like Drewski. I feel like that'd be just hilarious. He's just a fool. He's coming out with that TV show too.
Yeah,
did you see that?
I did.
It could have been.
It's like a could have been like they have like a mansion.
Yeah,
now,
it's called like could have been something. I can't remember. What it's called.
I'm excited to watch that.
Yeah. I was asked a question, but I forgot. But I think of my question. Do you have any questions you want to ask him?
Yeah. What are the staples in your fridge? Like, you always got to keep these on deck.
That's a good question. What's in the dude fridge? His fridge?
Yeah.
Well, non-negotiable for me is shredded cheese. That's like the big one for me. And it's funny, even though too, with the page, shredded cheese has even become a meme in and of itself, with the main concept being that feeling of grabbing shredded cheese at, after a night out, 2 a.m., or whenever you just like want a snack. It's become such a inside joke of the page of just shredded cheese as a whole, even more specifically the Mexican or Fiesta blend cheese.
That's the best cheese.
Yeah, the versatility is crazy.
I know there's some people that I know that eat it like chips. Like they
Yeah.
like pour it down around. Like that's crazy.
I put it on my chips. Like that's how I make like
What kind?
the Mexican. The
Yeah.
Mexican.
No, but what kind of chips?
Oh, tortilla chips.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nacho cheese Doritos with the Mexican one.
Ooh.
Yeah. I know your stomach be hurting over there.
But yeah, shredded cheese is huge. Always been a big pickle fan, which even lines up because my name's Dillon and dill pickles.
Pickles. Yep.
So I always have a couple jars in there of pickles. And lately, Celsius has been in the fridge a lot. That's been my go-to.
I got a case from Amazon. It was like $18, and I was like, and they need to throw this sponsor. I'm trying to be like Theo Vaughn, have that Celsius sitting in the corner.
I'm trying to get to them too.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Theo Vaughn's a wild sponsor for them.
Yeah.
That's a wild sponsor for them. Anything else?
What about condiments? Like, non-negotiable condiments.
Oh, Yeah, my condiment side is like it's always full. I'd say, man, a bunch come to mind. I'd say for sure got to have ranch. Usually it's Hidden Valley. For sure Frank's red sauce. Just put that on everything. Duke's mayo, go-to mayo. Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce.
You know.
Great on chicken nuggets too.
Great on
Throw in
everything.
a quick meal.
Yeah.
Good on everything.
On
And it's
everything,
cheap,
too.
It's not even that much.
Yeah. Oh, and then I'd say Whataburger spicy ketchup. Is
Nice.
huge.
Okay.
Like that's a must.
Yeah.
The question I was going to ask, do you look at fridges differently now?
I'd say, I guess a little bit. I feel like now I'm more targeted, like going to house parties and it's like people say, like, oh, it's the fridge guy, or whenever I'm like around to a fridge, someone will now say something. So it's more so funny to be labeled as a fridge guy, and it's something's always brought up if I'm in the vicinity of one. But yeah, it's definitely changed a little bit.
Are you gonna be ever in the market of making your own like mini fridges that have like just like do fridges on it or whatever?
I would like to. I mean, I know I definitely want to do merch at some point. There's so many different creative ways I know I can go with that too. One being, and I brought y'all some stuff too, but one of them is a tank that I'm working on where it's a shredded cheese tank, gym tank, but it's a bag of cheese that's literally shredded for the gym.
Nice.
And there's so many ways I think to make it fun, not too like graphic tee where it just like doesn't work well, but where it's funny but also quality.
Yeah.
So finding that perfect blend is what I'm going for.
Do you have like a lot of fans reaching out saying like, "Where's the merch?" or "When's the merch coming?"
Some for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I do want to put it out, but I want to put that out in the right way and make sure it is quality. And I think even a fridge would be cool to do at something like a mini fridge.
The thing is with merch, man, like we put out a collection and like we've been working on another collection, and there's so many loopholes like with learning how to like get good quality. It's like, all right, well, what blanks do you want? Like learning blanks, and it's like certain colorways. If you want to have specific colors, and you have to either go through a certain manufacturer or you have to find someone that makes that specific blank. So it is tough and challenging. And then also, even with the brand and whatnot, like you could have 6,000 followers, but if you promote it like if you just put out a shirt, like, yeah, you might sell it. But if you like maybe do like rollout teaser, I mean, you were talking about Jesse earlier off camera. Like he rolled out Sunday, his whole rebrand, and talked about it for months, and then has been dropping pieces here and there. Has like a brochure of like, stuff coming out, and he hits the nostalgia factor. Like they dropped that rug of like what's remember that like the city tracks that you see like the doctor's office.
Yeah,
they dropped like a rug of that and like stuff like that. But it's like that hits home for like us because we grew up like going to the doctor's office and like playing on that. So it's like if you're into that kind of stuff and have the money to spend, you're gonna get that, and it's targeted to that audience or whatever. So no, I definitely understand that because we talk about it all the time. Like the merch thing is hard, and when you're by yourself, like we have a team, and even for us, it's really hard to like allocate enough roles or figuring out how to like do that
for sure.
And I was gonna lead me into, I guess one of my last points is, have you had anyone reach out to you via like, like an internship or just people that, are fans of you and want to help you out? Like, how's that been? Like, and I guess when's the next step for you to have someone help you out?
That's a good question. No one really has reached out in terms of like just come in as an intern. I'm so connected still to the University of Texas too, that I think that would be a cool avenue to explore, like having someone from UT just being here in Austin to come help out with the page. Help could for sure be used. But no, nothing as of yet. I guess from the intern part of things.
Yeah. I feel like maybe like when you hit like 100, well, whatever amount, everybody has different milestones, but like maybe since 100,000 is big, maybe like the 100,000, you can do like 100,000 giveaway and be like a mini fridge that says like do fridges or something.
Yeah. I got to do something big for 100K.
Yeah.
I did a party for 50K, and I'll probably do something similar for that as well. And just like with the 50K, I'll do kind of probably a similar kind of blowout, but it's been really special to have the brands come in and celebrate with me. For that 50K, I had Happy Dad and 8 Beer sponsor that party. 8 Beers also, they do a lot of stuff here in Austin as well. So it's cool I was obviously celebrating that for myself as well, but it's cool to see those other relationships you form celebrate with you.
Yeah.
Because I know Happy Dad's pretty big, but 8's growing, and I'd like to be there along the way too as they grow. And I even learned that party helped get them into the bar that I had that party at too, for them to start selling.
That's fire.
Full time, which is also a goal of Dude Fridges. Is I want to help those growing brands too. I really want to hit all cylinders, both big and small.
Yeah.
Just like Toga Media. I mean, that's what his goal is just to help people / brands grow however he can in whatever way.
Exactly.
Yeah. Even a philanthropic part as I get bigger too. I mean, being food and beverage, being in that niche and maybe tying something, whether that's merch when it comes out or whatever form of income I can get to donate a percentage to a food bank or whatnot. I need to get bigger first, but that's for sure on the mind.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I mean, I had a blast doing this. It was dope talking to you. Dope officially meeting you this time.
Yeah, appreciate y'all.
I mean, next festival you have, if you need photographers, him and I are there. I mean, we had fun at the first one, and funny story. You don't know this, but all right. So we're there, and it's dark. So he brought out his flash.
Yeah,
and I'm like setting up my camera and something's on my camera. I'm like, have you seen this? He was like, no. And he was like, let me see it. So I gave him my camera. So I take his camera and I start taking pictures. I'm like, why isn't it flashing? And he's like, dude, quit fucking messing with shit. I'm like, I didn't touch anything. Like I just went to go take a picture and it didn't go. And so he was like, let me see it. And he gets it and then he's looking at it. And I was like, I think your batteries are out.
Yeah.
And he was like, really? And I was like, yeah, because there was like an icon that said nothing. I was like, look. And then he was like, God damn it. So he runs, like he literally runs to CVS. It's like 8 minutes away.
Yeah.
Buys batteries, runs all the way back, puts them in, and it was the batteries.
Unreal. No, I didn't know that.
That had to have been like over a mile.
Well, I was sprinting.
Yeah.
I haven't ran that much. It's like,
Is it that downtown CVS?
Yeah, wherever the closest CVS was, yeah.
Off of Congress, like that one? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
And then he ran all the way over there, ran back because he didn't have new batteries.
that's insane. Hey, I
Yeah,
appreciate
there you go. There you go. Got the job done. But yeah, a little funny story that you didn't know. But hey, there's always something that goes wrong in
There
great
really is.
moments, and the person that receives that will never know. Like you never knew that, and you still like, man, I love these photos, but you didn't know like
Right.
he had to go around damn CVS to get some batteries.
It's funny how there's always something. I think the other funny part with that at that party, I think it was maybe 15 minutes into when it started, one of my friends came up to me and was like, yo, there's no toilet paper here.
We had Whataburger before that, and then he went in before me, and I think he had.
to the other stall that didn't have toilet.
Okay, good.
Yes, and then I went in because I was watching the camera gear.
Yeah.
and then I went in and I texted him. I was like, dude, there's no toilet paper.
That's hilarious.
And then at the same time, my stall doesn't lock either. So he grabbed the toilet paper, threw it over, stood in front of the stall for me so nobody would go in.
That's crazy.
Not an ideal experience, which is funny because, I did a check, but didn't think to check the bathrooms. Like, just, it's the bathroom.
I mean, yeah, it's
you
the
figure
bathroom.
it's gonna
And
be taken care of.
I don't know if you've been there, but it really is a nice place. It's not dirty. It's well kept.
Yeah.
So you just figure like, oh, like,
Yeah.
they're gonna have even like when you walk in, the bathroom is nice and clean and it looks
Yeah.
good. So you think like, oh, they're gonna have toilet paper or they're gonna have soap. 'Cause I don't think they haven't had soap.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I think he had hand sanitizer, so I was like, good.
Actually, I had a question I just thought of is, like, were you, I'm sure you were, but like, how nervous were you when you first do this event? Like, were you, obviously it's sold out, but like, you know, like what were your expectations of it?
Man, it was the most stressful, fun. I feel like I felt every emotion for that event. One, because that was my proof of concept. So there was always that pressure in the back of my head of, I got to make this work, because if it doesn't, I probably will just veer away from the space. But also was such a really cool sense of, I don't know, like togetherness.
Yeah.
Because my sister flew in, my whole family came too. My sister flew in from New York.
That's badass.
Parents came. They helped me set up for the party. Even had a couple friends come help prepare the day of. And I was working that from 10 a.m. till it started at like 8 or so, which I didn't know I was going to be doing that. But with like sound checks, setting up the mayo, setting up the Grillo's Pickles was all the sponsors, setting all that up.
Yeah.
Coordinating. It was one of the most stressful, fun, but rewarding times ever, because now I want it for the next one. I want to double it.
Yeah.
And I want it to keep getting
harder.
bigger, get bigger artists, and just keep growing. But it was so worth it. And you really do learn a lot by just doing it and putting yourself in that situation. And happy I did. And now I somewhat know more so, not all of it, but I have a better idea of, you know, what can go wrong and what to look for and how to plan that.
Yeah.
And hopefully go to other brands and offer that too, as a service of promoting products.
Yeah.
Not only can I digitally promote something, but bring that experience into real life.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, if you ever need artists, we know a lot of them,
that's what I was
especially
about to say.
local. Like they're born also
Yeah.
Texas, so they're
Would love to pick y'all's
yeah.
brains.
So if you ever need artists, let us know.
just let us know,
And if there's any way we can help, just y'all out with on the event or whatever the case is. Just let us know. We're always down to help.
Hey, let's grow together.
Yes, sir. Yes,
That's
sir.
definitely like a goal like we've always talked about, especially with the artists that we know, and like trying to like, you know, continue to bring creative dreams to life is like doing stuff like that. So
For sure.
definitely like knowing someone like you, and then, you know, Matt, like with Riser and stuff, like being able to
Right.
coordinate some dope stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. It's just the beginning.
Yeah, we're all at the right place at the right time. We
Yeah.
just, you know, I feel like everybody just has their turn and when they're gonna blow, and everybody just kind of patiently waiting their turn.
Exactly.
Yeah,
But I really do appreciate y'all having me on. I love talking about the stuff.
Hell yeah.
I could do it forever. I'm newer to like the camera
Yeah.
part of it. But this really is my passion, and at some point I want to be doing this full time.
Yeah.
I'm sure like y'all are too.
Yeah.
And so it's just cool to build on a brand, build on a project, and meet cool people along the way. So just really appreciate it. And like I said, let's keep growing together.
Yeah, I
sir.
appreciate you taking time out your day.
Yeah.
I mean,
anytime.
same with us. We love doing this, so it means a lot when people do take time out of the day and come on. Before we hit this off, do you have anything else?
No, that was it. Thanks, man. Again, you know, we had a great conversation. You were like the person I talked to the most when I first pulled up to the dinner, and just bonded instantly.
Yeah.
And then it's cool to see stuff that they were doing, you know, on their own, come to life, and us all know each other. And it's just, you know, it's very unique. You know, we haven't really interviewed a guest, you know, doing something like you're doing. So it's cool to hear it and like learn about it, and, you know, kind of pick your brain too about like how you've grown your page and all that.
Yeah.
So thank you again
100%.
as well.
Happy to do it.
Yeah.
Before we hit this off, do you have anything?
It was cool to hear the backstory of everything, and I'm kind of glad you brought up the toilet paper thing.
Oh, I didn't forget about that. Trust me.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, man, it's great having you, and we like they said, however we can help, man, like we'd love to help out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I got to say, lastly, if you haven't already, follow Dude Fridges. It's all one word on all socials, Dude Fridges. And we'd love to have you in the Fridge fam.
Yes, sir. We're gonna have everything in the description down below, so don't you worry. We got you covered on that part. Yes, sir.
Cool.
But that'll do it for them boys over here at Opinionated. We'll catch y'all guys next time. Peace.
Peace.